So just for the background, this has been going around TikTok. I don't know if it started with Kevin for the Real for Real podcast, but he's the one that I see everybody kind of like stitching and everything. So the idea is they want to go around on Film Talk and kind of give you your 15 favorites. So
yeah, we were like, oh, well, we can do that.
I thought it'd be like a cool segment. We can chop
yeah.
it up and put it on TikTok too.
So
Robzilla, 15
all right.
favorites.
Robzilla's 15 favorite movies.
in no
Go.
order. So we're gonna go Dog Soldiers, one of the best werewolf movies ever made.
Oh. Man, now Rob's got me rethinking. I'm about to like hurry up and
I told
change
you.
mine.
You're gonna be
So,
the thief.
and of course, this is for me, my boy Waddell Friday, Ice Cube, Chris.
Okay,
Tucker. Hands down one of
that's
the
a
best.
good. That's a good one to
Dude,
have in there.
the amount of references we do in that movie is hilarious. So I'm gonna go with the original Saw. I remember seeing that in the theaters, and
Okay.
at that time it was something very new, and it was the reactions that was in the movie theater when I saw it was wild. So
You damn dirty hillbilly.
I
I
have,
know.
I have
No,
a feeling that would be a hot sauce favorite if he was.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's definitely a hot sauce one.
So I went a little bit different. So I went Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers.
Okay.
Okay.
That's probably my favorite of the Curse of Thor, Thorn of series. So that's my favorite. Saving Private Ryan,
Busting out some Spielberg here.
The Faculty, It Follows, love It Follows. Now this one, it's near and dear to my heart. District 9. I've always loved that movie. District 9.
District 9 was really good.
Yeah.
It really is. I
Yeah.
rewatched that one not too long ago. I need to rewatch my who directed all those.
Neil Blomkamp.
Yeah, I got
Neil
like,
Blomkamp.
Blomkamp,
yeah,
sorry.
I've got like the Blomkamp box. I need to rewatch
And
all
Choppy
those.
is really good.
What did you say? Blummen?
Blomkamp.
Blomkamp?
I mispronounce it. Sorry. Then I have Friday the 13th. Jason Lives. That's my favorite.
Okay,
Friday the
part
13th.
6, I believe. That's,
Yep.
that's a good one. Good one.
So I have-
PBS is like motherfucking rock.
So I have Man on Fire. That's me and my dad's favorite
Oh.
movie with Denzel.
Some Denzel. Okay.
Okay.
One of the best movies
What's
ever.
the little girl's name in that movie?
Dakota Fanning.
Yeah,
There we go,
Dakota
Dakota
Fanning. You know, today I was looking at it in my list. I was like, I don't have any Denzel. This is
Oh,
sad.
yeah.
This
That
is
part
sad.
grossed me out when the dude's hand got blown off.
Yeah.
Yeah. that was great.
Well, there's some great one-liners too. He's like, "I wish you had more time."
Last
I
wish.
mean, like some of that stuff's really good. I have Slither, James Gunn Slither.
That's a great movie.
It's
man.
fantastic,
Underrated.
underrated. So then I have also Heat, one of the best
Heat?
movies ever made.
I'm surprised
This
by
is
this
like-
list. I might have the most generic list.
This is a pretty
And then I have,
I don't know what I was expecting from Bravo. This isn't quite it.
Yeah.
He's definitely all over the place.
I'm gonna have to. I have to do it. I saw this in theaters. Old school. Will Ferrell, Luke Wilson.
I mean, I
Vince
was
Vaughn.
like teeter-tottering whether I should put that in my list.
I was. It's a teeter-totter between that and like it's basically like that. Step Brothers and the other guys. It's
Yeah.
like those top 3 to pick. And then of course I had to go old school. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Love that movie.
It's really so hard to narrow this down to 15.
It really is.
When it comes
Trust
down to
me.
15, you have to rewatchability, you
Yeah.
know.
That's what I'm thinking too, because I was thinking like the originals like Halloween and stuff, but it's just like trying to move past that. So, and the last one, still one of the best zombie movies ever made, Train to Busan.
Okay. I'm really surprised by that. I mean, I guess I didn't know what to expect from Rob, but
some
I-
some
yeah.
of those are definitely Rob Zilla movies. Like he talks
Yeah.
about Dog Soldiers every Halloween. Halloween 4 he talks about every Halloween. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just interesting.
all right.
It's
my list.
Is a good pick.
All right. So who wants to go next? You want me to go next?
That's up to you. You can go next. I'll go next.
We'll save you for last.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, because yours is going to probably be the most interesting.
Yes.
I don't know. I've got some pretty when I was looking at them, like there's not like a movie I'm going to have to explain to you because I think you will have heard of all of them if you haven't seen all
Yeah,
of them.
and I mean that's kind of where I'm at with mine. I'm like, you know, but I am going to make a change here.
Okay.
I'm pivoting this one
La-
off.
la-
Of,
last
Pivot.
minute substitution.
yes.
Like I said, I changed mine like 6 times. Like I took a couple things off and I re-added it, and
Just because it wouldn't feel right with me having an Evil Dead autographed, you know, poster up there and not put an Evil Dead movie on here.
yeah, you got to.
So, all right, I'm just going to start off with the no-brainers here. Predator. I mean,
It's a
Son
no-brainer.
of a bitch.
it's all, you know, like I watched that movie with my dad, you know, when I was younger, and every time it comes on, I stop what I'm doing and I watch it.
Does
Yep.
this
Sometimes I throw it on because I'm like, I just feel like I need a Predator day, you know?
Does this make it your favorite Arnold?
Ooh. Yeah, probably. I'd probably say that. And then, all right, next up, I'm going to go Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Of course.
Okay.
Classic.
It's like one of the best action movies ever made, and it
Yeah.
still holds up today. Still.
If I didn't have to narrow it down, that would definitely be on a favorites list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Still my favorite Tarantino movie.
It's amazing.
it's not my favorite Tarantino movie,
It's
but it's like, that movie got me into like liking movies on an obsessive level.
Yeah.
I guess you could say.
and the
You know,
cast.
I watched that movie, and I think you were with me when we were younger. I went to like Walmart or something that was open 24 hours, and I bought that. I bought Pulp Fiction, and I think I might have bought my next movie, which
I still have my when Reservoir Dogs came out on DVD, you could buy it. They had like the different slip covers.
yeah,
And I still have my Steve Buscemi Mr. Pink slipcover.
nice. I mean, Steve Buscemi's so great in that.
Well, the cast, anyways, and that's
The
fantastic.
torture scene. I mean, everything about that movie is just perfect.
I would. That's the kind of movie I would like Tarantino to make like one more of. Just something a little more simple than some of the stuff he's been doing.
Next up is probably my favorite Tarantino movie. Can you guess what it is?
Once upon a time.
Hollywood.
No, Jackie Brown.
Okay, yeah, that's. I mean, that's a
Jackie
good one.
Brown's just so good, and it's one of those movies I gotta stop. If I see it on, I watch it. And you know, sometimes I just fire it up, listen to the soundtrack to that movie. I mean, it's just so great. It's a great cast, man, and it's like nonchalantly good. You know what I mean? Like it's just so there's something about it that just grabs you, and you're like, there's nothing like spectacular about this movie, but it's just so goddamn good. The dialogue's there, you know, the music that they play in certain scenes. You're like, I'm really feeling this movie.
I
But
feel like that's a lot of people's favorite Tarantino or most underrated Tarantino
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff.
Okay, next up, this has to be on your list too, Interstellar.
Maybe.
But I mean,
Fantastic movie.
I don't think a movie's ever grabbed my emotions quite like
Mhm.
Interstellar has. Well, you know, maybe a couple others, but you know, how many times did we go see that in the theater in IMAX?
Right.
And you know, had to buy the special edition Blu-ray that came with
The film.
yeah, I
IMAX
couldn't
clip.
tell you where that film thing went,
Yeah.
you know, but
Still got mine sitting on the shelf with my sad Anne Hathaway.
yeah, I had it for a while, and that's all that mattered to me, I guess. But okay, so this next one's kind of like 2 in 1.
Okay.
But Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1 and 2. Iconic superhero movies, and you know, they're better than a lot of the Marvel movies today.
Oh
And,
yeah.
you know, what it comes down to me on this list is rewatchability, you know. And I have favorite movies that just, you know, might have had an impact on me in some ways, but I don't rewatch them.
Mhm.
So they didn't make this list, I guess you could say. But yeah, Spider-Man 1 and 2, just great. Tobey Maguire, I mean, they just embodied Spider-Man for me.
It's
That one.
finally in the Marvel universe.
You just like thinking back to Nickelback.
Exactly. That song was great, dude.
Dude,
The
that
song
song-
was great.
Dude, they could stay rich off that song. in
Oh
general.
yeah. Yeah. And I mean, just the hype around. I mean, it's one of those things where you just had to be there. Like, we had never really had a successful superhero movie,
Our
and
time, anyways.
they've fucking nailed this one, dude. It was so great. And I couldn't tell you how many times I probably saw it in theater like 6 times, and loved every minute of it. And you know, to this day, I just bought the digital pack with all the Spider-Man movies.
Okay.
So
I mean, you know, part 2 especially is, I feel like it's on a lot of people's best comic book movies, action movies, whatever.
Definitely.
Yeah, hands down.
And I mean, they just he nailed everything about those movies. And Doc Ock, I mean, could you get a better guy to play Doc Ock?
Alfred
Alfred
Molina.
Molina.
He was so great, man. And the first one, they kind of got the love story right between him and MJ, and then they kind of fucked it up after that. That'd be like my only complaint about that, because you know, MJ would never turn her back on Spider-Man or Peter Parker, in my opinion. But moving along here, the very first Halloween, rewatch it every year.
It's classic.
I mean, it's the movie that got me into horror movies.
Yeah,
Johnny
so,
Carpenter.
yeah, I mean, I love it. moving along. Clerks,
Oh yeah.
you know,
You gotta
my
have the
favorite
Kevin Smith.
movies are all up there. So,
I kind of still think, in its way, Clerks is Kevin Smith's best movie.
yeah, I don't know if it might be. Yeah,
I feel like kind of like everything after was, because Clerks was so good that everything else almost gets overhyped.
yeah. I'm a big Chasing Amy fan, so I was like, I didn't want to throw two of these in and kind of leave something out,
Yeah.
and that's what I made a big change because I had Chasing Amy on there.
Oh,
See,
man.
I love Dogma.
Yeah, Dogma's really good too, but I mean, once again, like I wish people could watch Dogma, but you just
I'd love
can't.
to rewatch
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
it's not
you-
on Amazon Prime. I can't find anywhere.
No, it's not
Really?
even. It's not available on print or anything.
Old Harvey got us on that one.
Yeah, that fucking prick.
Me and my friends in high school, we loved watching Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Oh my god.
That one was just like the one.
That
we
was a
watched
great
all the
movie
time.
there. The last one was pretty good too.
Yeah.
So they kind of paid homage to all the movies in
Yeah.
some shape or form throughout that movie. Evil Dead 2. Got to put Evil Dead in there,
Oh yeah.
I always watch an Evil Dead,
Yeah.
once a year, and I'm a big fan of Bruce. I mean, got him up there on the mantle, but I do enjoy Evil Dead 2, I think, a little bit more than Evil Dead.
Yeah. I
Just
think
because it
lot of
gets a
people
little
do.
crazy and
Yeah.
there's some fun parts in Evil Dead 2, even though it's pretty much the same movie.
I felt like I put that on one afternoon not too long ago.
Ghostbusters. Gotta
I
have
was waiting on
Yeah.
Ghostbusters. I figured
Yeah.
Ghostbusters.
you gotta have Ghostbusters on there. It's one of the best movies ever made. Goldeneye.
Okay.
I mean, I gotta have Goldeneye in there. That's like a staple of my childhood.
I saw Goldeneye in the theater. I remember that one.
Yep, saw it in the theater.
Mhm.
Played that damn game for 1,000,000 hours.
Oh yeah. And I
Yeah.
watch Goldeneye every year before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So I mean, it is what it is.
I
You
mean,
know.
to revisit
I mean,
that.
who wasn't raised on GoldenEye in our period of time? You know what I mean? On 64.
All right, next one I'm going The Matrix. It's such
I had that on my list. But I was like, I'll take it off.
that's like one of those movies where I think of like I watched that like through high school all the time, and I was obsessed with The Matrix. I loved everything about it. Like it was just such a cool movie.
I remember going to the 50-cent theater, seeing that. I don't know. Between that and Lake Placid was like the two
Yeah.
movies playing I watched nonstop.
And it was so, I mean, for its time, it was like cutting edge. They
Yeah.
did the bullet time and all that. I mean, it was great.
The first time I watched The Matrix, it was on a bus on our middle school Washington, D.C. trip on a little 12-inch television.
Oh wow.
And I was still kind of blown away. But like, oh, okay, I'm definitely gonna have to come back to this one.
He's like watching. He's like,
Circle back.
Is this the air I'm breathing right now?
I remember I got gift cards to Media Play one year, and I went and bought it on VHS. And I had to go stay at my grandma's house because my mom was going out of town for the weekend, and my dad was, doing something. And I remember watching it. And my grandma was like, "What the hell is this?" The part where they like jump up and
It's the
float
future.
across the room and kick.
It's the future, Grandma.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, Grammy.
You're in the Matrix right now. We're gonna work on getting you unplugged.
We're gonna get you unplugged, Grandma. We're gonna show you the real world.
Did
Okay.
she ever like get into the movie or
No,
Yeah.
no, it was not for her. Dumb and Dumber, classic comedy.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've watched this movie, and I still quote the movie to this day. Yeah, I mean, it's just how it is. Every once in a while, you'll hear a Dumb and Dumber quote, and you'll see something, and you'll think of Jim Carrey doing something stupid in that movie.
I haven't rewatched that one in a while, but that's like classic 90s.
Oh yeah,
Like he's getting showed. Harry, your hands are freezing.
Yeah.
Or there's always the
just go, buddy.
or the what are the chances of us getting together? Like 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000, more like 1 in a million. So you're telling me there's a chance?
You guys drinking on Grandpa's cough medicine?
Was the Harlan? What's his name? Harlan Williams?
Yeah.
He's like, get the hell out of
that
here.
great scene.
You pumpkin pie haircut freak.
You hear Jim Carrey, tic tac, sir.
I still think about when I'm driving down the road, like, look how fast I'm running, Harry.
I mean, and everybody remembers the bird,
Yeah.
Giving the dead bird.
pretty bird.
Yeah. Okay. So my last two here. First up is the 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Oh, okay.
Gotta say, it's the most rewatched. It was either this or Step Brothers, but I gave this one the nod because I just have such fond memories of it. And, I still to this day quote the 40-Year-Old Virgin. I mean, I quote Step Brothers a lot too.
Yeah.
But what was it like? She was a hoe, faux show.
Yeah.
I mean, I still say
Hurting
faux
for a
show all the
squirtin'.
time. Yeah, she was hurting for a squirting.
Is it true that if you don't use it, you lose it?
Yeah,
I was
I
thinking-
say that nonstop to this day.
Paul Rudd his big box of porn.
Yeah.
No, I don't want your big box of porn.
You know how I know you're gay?
You
Yeah.
like Coldplay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you like
you listen to
Coldplay.
Coldplay.
I still think the whole wax scene was so funny because that's the reaction to it. It's
Oh
so
yeah,
funny.
him yelling Kelly
This is-
Clarkson and all
This is
that.
not a good look for me.
And last but not least, Star Wars.
Star Wars.
It's up there for one of the most rewatched movies too. So I mean,
Is
I
it
had
Star
to
Wars
put it.
4 or 5.
I just said Star Wars, sir. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, just ask me. Just ask me.
The first Star Wars, you know,
Yeah.
it's got to be the best, right? I mean, I guess.
Well, technically,
A
Empire's the
lot of
best.
people's going to say, you know,
But I mean,
Empire
you know,
Strikes
Star Wars
Back
is Star
and-
Wars.
Yeah,
it's Star Wars.
right.
Star Wars.
You're up, PBS. You're up. It's your
Batter
time.
up.
It's your time to shine.
Okay. So like I said, I just kind of went through my letterbox and went around the house and look at what I had. And like, these are going to skew toward movies that I've probably liked for a long time because they're like you said, it's kind of about rewatchability.
Yeah.
Generally, a favorite movie is a movie that I can rewatch a lot, or sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's a movie you just watch like once every now and again, and you're like, that's good, but I don't want to ruin it or whatever. But
Yeah.
rewatchability does play a lot for me. So I'm going to start. My number 15 is one that Rob Zilla mentioned that I was kind of surprised about. And this one kind of came on and off my list at number 15. I was going to leave it at 16 as like an honorable mention, but I put it in there. Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Okay.
I
I never got into those movies.
well, you see, that was it was in high school. It's the first time I'd seen it.
Me too.
Somewhere around there, BBC America became a channel on like DirecTV, and they showed like Monty Python's Flying Circus, the series, which I really got into. But back then it was kind of hard to see, so you kind of had to settle for the movies, which you could at least find on VHS or DVD. And it's one of those movies that's kind of like if somebody else liked that movie, you kind of knew something about them. You knew something about their sense of humor. You knew they liked British stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so that you kind of knew about their sense of humor. They might be into something like Doctor Who back then, even though that was still kind of hard to find.
Well, it's almost like Step Brothers. Did we just become best friends?
When my friends and I did like an English project in school, we used like Monty Python references for everything. So it was just like one of those movies where like if you liked Holy Grail and somebody else liked Holy Grail, you were kind of dialed in on a certain level. Number 14, my second favorite movie, probably like the last 20-ish years. And I know this is one that you both love, Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, shit. Get fucked.
Terrible.
Now, if you had said the original Mad Max, I've been fine. I like the originals. I just don't like Tom Hardy's interpretation of Mad Max.
Those are movies
Max.
that I've liked for quite a while. The original, especially 1 and 2, but I don't know if I put them as favorites. But I
Right.
definitely like.
Did you see the new one yet?
Still haven't seen Furiosa yet.
How we got to go?
Was it? She's got like 30 words.
Yeah, they said she doesn't have many words at all in it.
That's fine. Frank,
That's fine.
Frank
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
George Miller doesn't need
That's fine.
any lines. But yeah, I did rewatch that recently, and I just still blown away by how much I enjoy every single second of it. And I enjoy
And
how
as you stare at me,
I enjoy your 2-star review every time I look at it, Rob.
I didn't ruin that movie experience for you, did I?
No.
Because we went and saw it, and I was just like, just sitting there eating my popcorn, like, come on.
He was very meh at the end of it. And I was like, wow. So number 14, number 13, my favorite movie of the last 20 whatever years, Christopher Nolan's Interstellar.
So
And
good.
That's another one, just
fantastic movie.
like start to finish. I'm like, wow, just wow.
Yep.
I remember I went and I snuck off to see it by myself at the AMC Lenox, and literally as soon as it was over, I got out of the Lenox and I walked around the corner of the Barnes and Noble to buy the soundtrack CD. And while I was doing that, I called you or messaged you, and because I knew you did want to see it too. I'm like, we have to go see this. I will go see it like again tomorrow if you want to. We have to go see this.
Did they ever have like a different millimeter for Interstellar, like they did with like the Hateful Eight and like 16 millimeter and all that?
He just did. I mean,
Okay.
Nolan's always done the theatrical stuff. They had
Okay.
70 millimeter IMAX and all
Okay.
that stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if they did that for Interstellar.
Yeah. And that was just like I said, it's like one of my favorite movies of the last 20 of the 20s, you know, whatever you want to call it. Another one, and it got down to number 12. It's kind of a late addition that I didn't think about to the end. Karate Kid, starring Ralph Macchio, Pat Morita.
I've seen Karate Kid be on a lot of people's lists.
Yeah. I love Karate Kid and Karate Kid 2. It usually, if I'm watching one, I'm watching both of them. It's like
Okay.
an afternoon
A
kind
lot
of
of people
watch.
didn't like the third for some reason.
You know,
It was okay,
Daniel kind
but-
of turns into an asshole.
you know, it was
Daniel
okay,
kind of
but-
turns into an asshole for no
Yeah.
reason. And yeah, it's just not quite as good. It goes kind of darker.
He went full contact in the third
Yeah.
one.
It's just not as good. But
Yeah.
if I'm watching Karate Kid, I'll probably watch Karate Kid 2. It's a sports movie, high school movie, coming of age movie, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's one of those ones that when I watched it for the first time after not too long a while ago, I'm like, you're always worried if the movie is going to be a movie you liked when you were younger was good or not. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're, it holds up. 100% holds up. Good movie. Number 11, Silence of the Lambs. This is like one of my kind of strange comfort movies. You know, a movie about Buffalo Bill who skins women and Hannibal Lecter who eats people. But
Put
it's
the
just,
lotion in the basket.
it's like it's the 90s to me in a movie. It's the 90s. It's like reminds me of X-Files. It's got like that sort of gray palette, the sedans, the FBI. I kind of wanted to get Michael Mann's Manhunter on here somewhere because I love Manhunter too. It's one of my favorite movies, and it's the first Hannibal Lecter movie.
Yeah.
But Silence of the Lambs is just, you know, it's just something I revisit all the time.
It's a good movie.
The first time I saw it, my mom and her sister were watching it, and I was playing with my sister and my cousin. Like the kids are playing in the other room, the parents are in the other room watching their R-rated movie.
And you're like Michael Myers in the background.
Right. You walk into the room for something and you just kind of like slowly walk out like you're not watching the movie, but you are. Kind of like, get out of here. This isn't a kid's movie. Number 10, John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness.
Oh, that's such a good movie.
Such a good movie.
I was going to get Carpenter in here somewhere.
No one talks about it either.
It's
I feel like that's
underrated.
been coming up more now.
It has been. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen more people talk about it lately, and I'm glad you got around to watching it and liked it. It is, I always tell people it's my favorite Carpenter. I could have put Big Trouble in Little China in here, Halloween. I love all those too, but Prince of Darkness is kind of the one that stays with me.
I feel like that's like my second. I still have a heart for Big Trouble in Little China, but I think that's the second one.
John,
besides
I could fill my top 10 favorites with John Carpenter movies.
Yeah,
Depending on
Yeah,
the day.
definitely.
Yeah, that can be a whole.
I tried
list.
to like space things out. Like I didn't want to have like, 3 sets of this guy or, you know.
But he's just a favorite filmmaker, easy. And like I said, just that's the one I kind of returned to, and it's a little underrated, and people kind of been showing it love over the last few years. So I like that. Number 9, The Monster Squad.
Oh, yeah.
I
My
knew that
mother's-
was going to be
my
on your
mother's
list.
favorite movie. That's
And these
one
are
of my
in
favorite, too.
order for you, right?
Yeah, they're not like, I didn't sit down and like think about it too deeply.
I know Indiana Jones is coming
Oh,
up.
that's got to be in there.
We'll see about that. But yeah, like I said, I made the list pretty easily for the most part. And I just kind of like, well, let me shift this around and shift that around. But, you know, I grew up watching Monster Squad. It was hard to find for the longest time. And then finally the DVD came out and all that. And it's just almost an annual rewatch. And part of the reason I love it is all of the, you know, Universal monster references, Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, Gilman, The Mummy, all that stuff. So it's sort of like my movie that says, not only do I like this movie, but I love those monster movies.
Right.
Number 8, Clue, the movie.
Okay.
I took that one off, and I just watched that literally the other day.
Yeah.
I watched that with Tracy. She's like, I don't know why you love this movie so much. I said, what
What is wrong with you? Divorce.
Yeah, I was like, divorce. Get the fucking papers.
Clue is one of those. I love Clue, the board game. It's my favorite board game growing up. I still remember like renting it, seeing it on the shelf for the first time at the video store. Like, what? There's a Clue game? Movie? Like, what the hell?
Tim Curry, baby, the butler.
It's one of my comfort movies, like sick day movies, funny. One of my favorite comedies. It's one of those movies that I actually couldn't watch for a while because I just watched it so much. That kind of goes like back to Monty Python. It was one of those movies that I watched and quoted with people just so much that I was almost sick of it for a while. So I only watch it so often.
That still has the best scene when like the singing telegram girl, she's singing and then gets shot and then shut the door really hard. I don't know if that's supposed to be funny, but it is to me.
Such passion between the two of you over this movie.
That's a good one. That's my number 8. Number 7, I'm going to cheat a little bit here. The Back to the Future trilogy.
It's fair. I'm
fair.
allowing
That's fair.
groupings, you know.
This is I actually put just the first movie because I think the first movie is the best movie. But part 2 is the one I watched the most as a kid.
Yeah.
And I think as an adult, part 3 really is kind of like underrated or slept on a little bit. And I just if I'm watching one, there's a good chance I'm going to spend the day watching all 3 of them. And it's just I still have my VHS for Christmas from whatever 1990 whatever. Just absolute favorite series. Maybe my favorite trilogy of all time.
Okay.
Number 6, Batman. 1989. This is another
Excellent choice, sir.
this is another one where there was times where I watched it so much that I almost got sick of it because I just quoted the whole thing, quoted it with my friends. I've still got the VHS that my grandmother owned that I watched it on. I just watched it so much. It's still maybe my favorite like superhero comic movie. A lot of people have been talking about Batman Returns because it was like the 35th anniversary recently.
Mhm.
And a lot of people say that's like the best Batman movie ever. And I like it too, but the first Batman is the
Yeah.
one I always come back to. Batman, Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, Joker, his henchman's Bob,
It's
Gotham, everything.
It's really hard to beat Jack Nicholson's Joker.
Yeah.
It really is. Never hit a man. Would you hit a man with glasses? Would you?
And I mean,
never
one of
Rubberman's
the
rhubarb.
best soundtracks to a movie.
Some Prince, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, can't beat it.
My favorite part is where he takes the gun out of his pants.
Yeah.
Long gun.
Yeah.
Come and get me, you.
Or he gets punched in the face and he like spits out like the chattering teeth.
I always loved it when they walked in. Was it where were they having dinner or what? Were they like
at the museum?
Yeah, they're like
Museum.
yeah, okay, the museum, and they're like painting on all this stuff. And
Yeah.
that was great.
Like I said, that's just a classic movie I just love so much. I've watched so many times. I'm almost sick of it at sometimes. Number 5, I got to get a shitty black and white movie in here, don't I? Casablanca.
Yeah, I'm surprised there hasn't been more.
Yeah.
It was what do they call it? Nut cutting time. Just had to pick what you wanted. And
Yeah,
so number 5, Casablanca, just classic old Hollywood movie. Humphrey Bogart, Ingrid Bergman, Michael Curtiz. It's just one of the all-time great movies. There's a reason people still watch it today. I want you to watch it, Rob Zilla.
Okay. Sure.
It's just like I said, that not as rewatched maybe as some of the other movies on my list, but it's just classic movie. Number 4, a movie that I don't generally put on favorites list because I assume like you don't have to mention it. This is everybody's favorite movies list. Jaws.
okay, yeah.
I rewatched Jaws like late one night last year or early this year, and I was just still blown away by it. Like this is a 5.5 star out of 5 movie. Like it's just perfect.
Yeah.
It's like a horror movie. It's like an adventure movie. Great John Williams score. Spielberg, the birth of the blockbuster.
You know what? I didn't put. I was gonna do this. I was gonna put E.T. on my favorite
Yeah.
list.
That's
Totally fucking forgot about it.
Dude, there's like it's hard.
Yeah,
It's hard
it really
because
is hard.
You can easily make a 50 favorites, honestly.
so many of this is like how I'm feeling today.
Yeah,
Catch me next week and maybe I'll be in a different mood. Like
right,
like
exactly.
Completely
Like-
different set.
like I said with Silence of the Lambs, catch me on a different day and it's Manhunter. Catch me on a different day, it's a different Carpenter. You know, my top 3. These ones are probably generally my top 3 favorite movies, just in general. I don't think they change too much. Number 3, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones. Jaws might be like a slightly better movie, but you know, it's indie.
close, yeah.
It's you know,
Harrison's your guy.
yeah. I just I grew up on that indie trilogy.
I
And
think
it's just-
everybody our age did.
Yeah.
And
I still Temple of Doom is still my favorite.
They were on USA like every weekend.
Yeah.
So
I feel like it's like every other day, like one
that and
movie
Star
at a time.
Wars.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
just back to back.
Raiders and the first Star Wars were like my comfort movies back then. I just put them on like a Sunday afternoon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I could have put on here with Temple of Doom. I loved Last Crusade as a kid, but for me, Raiders just kind of always beats them just a little bit. And it's just like I said, I've owned it on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K. Seen it in the theater a couple of times.
Did you ever like the show? And Ninja.
I'd like to watch it, but I think it might be on Disney Plus now. But like, it's been hard to find for a long time. And then Lucas kind of cut them up into like mini movies and got, he did his Lucas thing.
Yeah.
And actually, the VHS trilogy that I got for Christmas in the 90s had an episode. It had an extra VHS tape that had one episode on it. So that's like the only one I've actually seen all the way through. But yeah, I'd like to check it out. Maybe it'd be one to get Disney Plus just to check it out. Number 2, Sergio Leone's The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Clint Eastwood, Eli Wallach, Lee Van Cleef, just insert Al Pacino. What a picture gif. I still remember like watching it on TCM for the first time, seen it at the Hyatt Theater, DVD, Blu-ray. Just love it. Hell of a movie, start to finish.
Okay.
Number 1, Harrison Ford makes the list again. Blade Runner.
I knew we weren't leaving without that movie
Yeah, I
being
knew
on
Blade
here.
Runner- Looking at it somewhere.
That's just sort of been my number 1 favorite for a long time, and it's just a movie that I remember tracking down on VHS back in the day, DVD. I've sort of seen it kind of like Carpenter's The Thing. It's a movie that's gone from like cult classic to just like kind of sci-fi classic.
Right, right.
And it's just one of my favorite movies. I could put it on like late at night when I get home and kind of fall asleep to it almost. And
I still love like Rucker Hauer in that movie. Though.
Yeah.
I never got into Blade Runner.
I didn't either, but I still liked him as like kind of like a villain, anti-villain,
Yeah.
you would say.
And I liked 2049, the sequel.
I was gonna say you like
Probably
that one
didn't
too.
get quite enough financial love, but I think a lot of people like both of them enough. That's my number one.
All right. We've got our top 15 out of the way. Now it's time for the bonus
Top 5
portion of the show. Chuckles top 5.
All right, number 5. Probably definitely Braveheart. It's something me and my brother used to watch all the time this summer.
That's a good
We
one.
were kids. Yeah.
That's always a good movie.
Yeah, Braveheart was
That's
awesome.
another one that used to be like on TBS like every
Yeah.
weekend.
That and the
Freedom.
what was the other one? The Patriot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking love the Patriot. That was good.
Mel Gibson killed it back in the day, man.
He really did until he became a racist.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, he was a racist then. He just was
he
fine
just
about
didn't.
it.
He just
Yeah.
wasn't vocal about it.
Probably number 4 is the Labyrinth.
Oh
Always love
yeah.
the stair scene.
I
and the
love that.
helping hands.
Hey, talking to
Always love the stair scene and the helping hands in the movie.
You
I
like,
was
you
okay.
like David Bowie's bulge. So
Yeah, that was pretty famous.
Funny thing is, like, I was talking to my cousin. I said something about Labyrinth. He said, "That's your problem. Your mother lets you watch that. That's why you're fucked up." The caterpillar. No, not that way.
all right, so we got 2 down.
my sister liked that one quite a lot back in
All
the
right,
day.
3 is definitely Dog Day Afternoon.
Oh,
I love how it was based on a true story.
Dog in the Afternoon.
Dog,
Dog
Day
Day
Afternoon.
some Al Pacino.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
John Cazale. That's about a bank robbery. So they get money for a guy to have a sex change. It is all true. It all happened, live, and they made all the movie that way. It was all everything was true.
Okay.
I've never seen that one all the way through. It's on my list.
I love my favorite line is Al Pacino says in it, the guy's trying to talk about stopping the bank robbery. Al Pacino says, "Kiss me. I like you being kissed when I'm getting fucked."
Oh, jeez.
With the Al Pacino voice.
Yeah.
Hoo-ah.
Number 2 is probably
Casino.
Casino.
Casino's
Yeah.
really good.
Some Marty.
Dude,
Casino was good.
anything
It's a
with
long
Joe-
movie, man.
anything with Joe Pesci getting pissed off and smacking someone is
I'm
always.
still
a
not sure
classic.
if I've seen it all the way through because I
Yeah.
always see it on TV. And like you said,
Yeah.
it's just a long movie. I always miss some part of it.
You
put
get
your-
the gist of
You
it.
put
You've
your
seen
feet on
everything.
the fucking table.
Yeah, my the cowboy, and then the part where they take the guy in the back.
Yeah.
Right there.
Right, they would take the guy in the back where they catch him cheating with his thing on his leg.
Yep. All right, so
Drum roll, number 1.
Without a doubt, Enter the Dragon by Bruce Lee.
Enter the-
okay.
you
All right.
It's always been my
My
favorite
man.
movie. I think the first time I've seen that, I was 14 years old. It's like, wow, this is.
I've
amazing.
never watched
I
Enter
love
the
It's
Dragon.
amazing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think even David Carradine said it. He's like, when it came out, he told everybody, "You need to watch this."
Bruce Lee did all the choreography
Yep.
for the movie too.
Yep.
It was amazing.
Oh man.
Fine list, sir. Fine list.